can always be on the podcast from now on.
So, and of course, John and I are here from the original, and we have a guest this week who we're gonna talk to first. Here we have Paul, who does Paul's Hardware and also works at Newegg as his day job. You may or may not have seen some videos, like the PC build video that we always put out from Newegg. But how's it going, Paul?
Hey guys, doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
So, we are a PC gaming podcast, and I'm guessing you may or may not have a good gaming PC. So
I feel like he's probably on a Mac if he works for Newegg.
Yeah, it's probably.
It's on a MacBook
I got
Air.
that OS Leopard or something.
One of those big cats they keep naming crap after.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't get it.
Yes.
So what is your machine packing
Well,
currently?
Alright, so I just kind of built what's going to be my machine yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So what I kind of have right now, like what I'm using right now, because I haven't switched over yet, is a Asus Sabertooth C77 motherboard, a 3770K, a Thermaltake Frio cooler, Asus GTX 670, one of the DirectX U2 ones, and then like a Kingston SSD and I think like 16 gigs of memory. And then what I just built yesterday is actually a Gigabyte motherboard that's X79S UP5, and then that's actually got a 3960X in it and 16 gigs of RAM for now. No video card because I'm switching the 670 over to that one, and that's kind of like my new system. And then the Z77 system I'm actually going to start using for benchmarking and stuff. So I'm kind of like right in between right now. I need to get the other one set up before I can actually start using it.
Not bad. Extreme Edition. Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal.
No big deal.
1.5.
It's a little over the top. That
So, I don't know how much time you have for games, but what have you been gaming lately?
That's a good question, and actually, you're very right. Like, my game time is so limited. So lately, I've been playing Crisis 3. I just trying it out, and I mean, I've played through like the first 2 or 3 levels. That's pretty much about all the time I've had. It sucks because I literally spend a lot more time benchmarking the games now than I do playing them, because I'll do that at work half the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I should really play these games. I've played so much Battlefield 3, but it's all like just the one level that we benchmark on over and over again. Yeah, so I play some Civ 5 every now and then, just if I want to kind of zone out and not think for a couple hours. And that's all I could really say I've been playing recently. Oh, Borderlands 2. I actually played a decent amount of Borderlands 2. That I actually played through at least once. Beat it on normal, which was a true achievement for me.
So we are always, well, we talk hardware on here, but not an extreme amount. Just sort of bigger announcements like Titan and things like that. But what is it like basically getting to handle any hardware you want? I mean, you could. You already told us before the show started that you don't get some insane discount or something, but you do get to play with a lot of cool stuff.
I do, and believe me, I consider myself extremely lucky to be able to do that. Like, when it comes to my personal stuff, I'm generally like, I don't go all out. I don't have a crazy water-cooled system or anything like that, but yeah.
Just a hex-core processor.
Well,
No big deal.
new.
12 threads.
I do. I edit video. I need it for the video editing.
I swear to God, I need it.
It's
Totally
Yeah,
necessary.
Just a small, 12-thread system.
yeah, he's like,
Six
oh, I'm
thread-
just, it's kind of casual. I got something like 12 threads. I lost count.
It is a 670 though. It's like
It's a 670.
he doesn't have like
That's
4
pretty-
690s or anything. Is what he's
Yet.
saying.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not
he's
running-
fine.
Not running SLI. Oh, what was the question? There was a question there somewhere.
What's it like basically getting to handle any hardware you want.
Ah,
and you
yes.
get to-
It's really cool because I mean this was always stuff that I would read about, like ever since I got into computers, like 14 or 15, like read about stuff, go online, read articles and everything, and now I'll benchmark a couple Titans, and I'm like, holy crap, this is the stuff that I used to read
Yeah.
about all the time and kind of drool over, and now I can actually like throw them in there and benchmark them and see how they perform. And like I had 2 Titans. I did like next to nothing with them. I threw them in there. I did like the simplest overclock I could without thinking about it or testing or anything like that. And then I ran the new 3D Mark benchmark, the Firestrike Extreme, and I looked at the current like leaderboard for that, and it was like 1,000 points higher than it. I was like, oh, that was difficult. So yeah, it's like it's something that I'm extremely grateful for. So I mean, I guess
You don't taunt people enough, though. See, that's the
I know.
thing. Like when I first started, when I first started at Twitch, we were actually building our gaming PCs in the back office, and they all have the 2600Ks and like 6990s or something. So I just like stacked all like 10 6990s on top of each other and just like tweeted pictures at everybody I know. just because I knew it would make them mad. You should probably look into doing that. It feels really empowering.
I will definitely start doing that. I'll try to throw out some,
It's like lay in a bathtub and cover your entire
yeah.
body with Titans and just be like, hey.
I'll admit, it felt pretty good when I stacked up like 14 of my 22 laptops and posted that picture.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll see if I can start doing that. I bet I could throw out some taunts along with the pictures of the hardware when it comes
entirely
back.
professional.
Yeah. And then a good idea from the chat. See, you do that bathtub photo with Titans, and then you sell special edition Titans. These were on Paul in a bathtub. Put
Paul's
$50 on the
5%
price.
markup at least.
Yeah.
So obviously you have a job that a lot of people really admire and would aspire to. How did you land there, and how long have you been in the business, so to
Get
speak?
into this game. Yeah.
It was a bit of luck, and just a bit of sort of. I mean, looking back at it, I started at Newegg in like 2005 in customer service. So I came in to like answer phones and help people out with their order problems and stuff like that. Pretty quick, I moved into what's called inspections, which is the place out in the warehouse kind of next to customer service, where if you bend your pins on your motherboard, it comes to me, like anything that was wrong or broken or anything like that. So I did that for a while. From there, I moved into a systems analyst position where I was working with like our internal systems and trying to communicate between the people who like customer service and tell our programmers how to, put new buttons in or whatever. And then from there, I got kind of bored of that. I moved into marketing, actually marketing/web. I worked for our forums for a bit. And then at one point they said, we're starting our social media program. They were starting up the Facebook page and MySpace at the time, which I'm not even sure if we even bother with anymore, and YouTube. And they're like, well, we have a YouTube channel. I guess we should make videos for it. And somebody had heard that I had a bit of a history, like at college and stuff, with video production. So I said, sure, I'll do a video every couple weeks. I'll do a video, and from there it just kind of grew, and like. I tried to go about it in such a way that I knew I was kind of being honest with myself and honest with the products and straightforward about everything, and that seemed to appeal to people. So it kind of grew from there, and now I think we have 5 people now, 3 full-time, 2 half-time. We're getting a few more people very soon as well.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Very cool.
That's the definition of moving up the ladder.
Yeah. Right there.
Dedication. Yeah.
Yeah, it
You're
took a
probably
honest.
very well loved there, if I would guess.
I hope so. People seem to be nice to me. Yeah, the little part in the middle where I was an analyst, that's the only part that, I mean, it was a good job and everything, but that was the point where like I wasn't working with computer hardware at all. So there's a couple years in there where like my knowledge, like historically, of the kind of progress of computer technology, it kind of drops off. But yeah, apart from that, I've always managed to do something where like I got to play with computer parts.
Yeah.
I think I did it subconsciously somehow. I just worked it in that in somehow.
Very cool. Very cool. So you do your personal channel, and as you saw this before, you're not really here on behalf of Newegg. Let's clear that up. But
Oh
you
yeah,
do your-
actually, if I could say that real quick, by the way,
Yes,
guys,
go ahead.
I'm here representing Paul. I have my YouTube channel, Paul's Hardware. Anything I say is not necessarily representative of Newegg, and I'm not here representing Newegg. Okay,
There you go. The
He has
legal.
Ass covered.
I think that's what I was supposed to say.
Yes. There you go.
They can put the gun down behind you now. Where are my children?
That's why the camera's off. Yeah.
The two men
Not holding him
in
hostage.
suits just left my room.
So I have a question just about separating between the Newegg channels and your personal channel. How do you choose like what you're gonna do on the personal channel? Is that stuff that you kind of get yourself, or like how do you choose to like you do a SSD on, if you do it on Newegg and then do it on your personal channel? How does that choice kind of go?
Yeah, this is actually something that I point out in one of the videos that I filmed this weekend, but I have not yet edited. I did a bunch of shooting this weekend, but I haven't edited anything yet, so that's what I'm doing afterwards. Pretty much what I've decided is if I spot stuff at Newegg and it's something that I like I say, oh, that's a uniquely designed case, or this is a SSD with really good performance.
Mm-hmm.
If I see that, I'll hit up a manufacturer or the reps that I currently know from working there, and I'll say, hey, is this something I could cover for my channel? See if I can get a sample of it and kind of proceed that way. So I think what I'm going to try to do as far as hardware goes is kind of filter through the stuff that I see at Newegg, pick out the ones that I like, and then try to highlight those on my channel. And who knows, maybe eventually people will just start sending me stuff, and I'll... that's when you get to really tear into something, is if somebody just sends you something randomly, you didn't ask for it.
Right.
Then you can be really picky.
Yeah, exactly. Very cool. So we're talking a lot of hardware. There's a couple actually very recent videos that I wanted to ask you about. So these this Yamakasi Leonidas, the
Yes.
30-inch monitor review, is that one of the Korean monitors? The ones
It
you
is.
can- yes. Is it good? Because I'm really thinking about getting one of those at some point here, a Cat Leap or a...
It's funny because the little like highlight of you talking when you talk, the audio is coming through on that monitor as you talk about it, which is weird. It's okay. Yeah, it's been pretty awesome so far, and I think my only like hesitation about it is that you can get the 2560 by 1440 ones, the Cat Leaps, for like
Mhm.
300.
Yeah.
And when I found this one, it seemed like a pretty steep price hike, but the more I thought about it, the more I kind of talked myself into it. And especially now that I want to do additional like benchmarking and that sort of thing, just having the high-res monitor, especially if you have something like a Titan, like NVIDIA says straight up, like don't get this to play 1080, like you need something higher. So for that reason, I had a pretty good use for it. Also, like for video editing, I don't know if you guys do too much of that, but if you're editing 1080 video, doing it on a higher resolution monitor is pretty fantastic because you can actually see the full frame and everything.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
But yeah, sorry. Getting back to the monitor itself, though, yeah, it's I can tell a little bit on the build quality. Actually, even since I shot that video, there have been a couple things where I was like, oh, that's not fitting together quite as flush as it could, but it's really minimal. And on it, like once it's set up, like the panel itself is the exact same LG 10-bit 2560 by 1600 panel that you'll see in any of their high-end monitors. So
Okay.
it's just the frame around it and the power supply and everything that's assembled by Yamakasi, or I think it's called YTech, the actual company that does that
Yeah.
line.
Where did you where did you get it from?
I ordered it off of eBay.
Off of
from-
eBay? Okay, yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's like the only source, as far as I know, for those monitors.
Pretty much, yeah. I had a friend who had a Cat Leap who was going to sell it to me, And then I saw this one, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna take the plunge. You know, I have lots of different uses for it, and I've been very happy with it so far. The one thing I'm worried about is the first video card I get that doesn't have a native dual link DVI connector, and there are a few of them out there. Because for that, I think, according to Linus, who posted on my video, he said that if I get a powered dual link DVI adapter, that should work with it. But those are like $100.
Yeah.
I can't upgrade to a monitor like that until I get my 120 hertz.
Yeah, you're addicted to that now.
I can't, absolutely
Makes
will
me
not
laugh.
play a video game if it's not in 120 hertz. I will leave work early and carry my bike on the train to get home in time for a TF2 match because I will not play on 60 hertz. That is the worst. It's terrible. It's the worst.
That is the see, and I honestly I know exactly what you mean because I have now seen them side by side, and I totally agree. It's incredibly like smooth and everything. I don't play enough of the higher paced like FPS type games that take advantage of that. So for me, it was more like because I don't know if IPS technology can even do that high of a refresh rate. But for me, it was more like about the color depth and everything, and just the size. But I definitely will back you up on that. 120 hertz gaming is pretty fantastic.
It's life changing.
So, and yes, Emperor Piehead, there is an overclockable version of some of those Korean monitors that can go to 120.
Yeah, the cat leaps are 2560 by 1440, and those you can overclock to, I think past 120 hertz. I think you can get some that are native 120, and you can go even higher than that.
Yeah, I know Asus has like 144 hertz monitor.
Yeah,
Yes.
in before John plays on 144 and won't play with anything less.
Well, I remember
I can drop my refresh rate on this one to 100 and it doesn't matter. It's just like 100 and up is what you need.
but I remember watching the video, the Newegg video for the Asus one, and I swear the guy basically said we just did it kind of because we could. Like it was,
Yeah.
They were like, "There's no real use case for this, but it looks sweet."
Is that JJ?
Yeah, I think so. But the other piece, actually, recent video I wanted to add, and this is relevant because we've been talking a lot about, ever since CES, we've been talking a lot of Steambox and whatever that's going to end up being, Valve's little project. But you recently did a video on the Newegg channel for the XI3. So how is that thing? Like, it's supposed to be modular, where you can remove different pieces as sort of modules, kind of like the old Pentium 2 parts, I believe they were, that were like a card. So how is that thing? It's so tiny as well.
As far as the actual housing of the little computer itself, I think that was pretty cool how they did it. I mean, it definitely makes sense as far as the design. They kind of took the motherboard, split it into 3 pieces, made it modular, and kind of fit it so you could have one fan that just kind of pushes some air through the middle of it. That one, I think that we actually put up, because I'm not sure how we ended up getting that one in to do the video on it, but it seemed like the actual hardware in that particular unit was a little bit outdated. To my eye. I know there's other versions though. Like there's some that use the newer, that are more geared towards gaming, that use like the I think Trinity or one of the APU setups from AMD, and I think that would make like a reasonable little gaming machine. Especially if they drop some of the newer APUs in there. Those can actually do some pretty decent gaming, especially if you're at 1080 and you're not worrying about too much like post-processing stuff. So I think it definitely has potential. I think as far as the modularity of it, you're kind of reliant on the company. As far as I can tell, like I think since it's like a proprietary interface, you'd pretty much be reliant on them to integrate new hardware into the modular parts of it, so that you could swap those in there and get, USB 3 instead of USB 2, or a better graphics card or something like that. So I like the idea. I like little tiny computers like that. I think it's got its place, but that specific one, I think it's more geared towards being like a really low power server or stack of servers or something along those lines.
Cool, very cool. So we'll move into some some user questions here, some viewers. So you guys can ask questions in chat. I will try to look for those as well as we ask questions. But we'll start with we have many Twitter questions, and we went over a few of the more fucked up ones before the before the show started.
Those were enjoyed.
Yes. Gosh, I'm looking here. Which one do we want to do? No, we'll talk about my testicles later. That person had a question about that for some reason.
What an audience.
Yes. So we'll go with okay, K9 Hadouken. That's a good question. What keyboard and mouse do you use, Paul? That's a question from K9.
The keyboard I'm currently using is I'm a little bit embarrassed. It's a Microsoft Ergonomic 3000, I think. It's not a gaming keyboard. Ergonomic 4000. Okay, I'm slightly less embarrassed.
1,000 embarrassed.
I think, or I've heard some rumors somewhere that Microsoft has a patent on the ergonomic design. I don't know. But I got kind of stuck on ergonomic keyboards a while back, so haven't found a good mechanical one that's that I'd like to use yet. But the one that actually I would say I've recently tried out that I like the most was the Cooler Master. I forget the model, but it uses the Cherry MX greens. That one was pretty badass.
Hey,
and then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Hey man, don't be embarrassed about the Microsoft keyboard. I actually like my Lenovo keyboard at work, which is just like the generic one that comes with like the whatever thousands of machines at work. It's got like no features. I just love typing on it though.
It wasn't too far back. I feel like anytime anyone asks for keyboard advice, they'd be like, buy a $10 like black basic keyboard, and that's all you need. And but yeah, the mechanical ones are. I like a lot of the build quality and stuff. I've just been waiting for an actual ergonomic one that strikes my fancy. But then apart from that, mouse I actually just recently switched. I was using the Logitech MX518, which is kind of an old standby. I had that since like 2004 or something like that.
That's a solid mouse, though.
Yeah, it's workhorse. It's just been with me forever. But I recently got this Funk mouse, actually. Sorry about that. I just did the video for it on Newegg. I think it was posted on Thursday or Friday. But I talked to the manufacturer friend from there, and sorry about that. Yeah, he sent one over my way, so I've been trying this one out, and I like it actually quite a bit so far. So I'm gonna do a video on my channel for that one too.
Nice. So now we have a non-gaming related question. At BLR Orange Fanta asks, if you had a theme song, and everyone can answer this as well, if you had a theme song that played every time you walked into a building/area, what would said song be?
I think I would have to go for O Fortuna. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one.
I am not.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up here.
Oh, it's just the letter O, Fortuna. F-O-R-T-U-N-A.
Yeah. A medieval Latin Goliardic poem written in the 13th century. There we go.
The obvious answers are a little B.
If you listen to it, you'll recognize it.
Someone
when you
just
said it, I thought you said "Oh Susanna" at first. I was like, "That's a weird one."
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, kind of a country thing.
Yeah, I can't watch it because I'm recording, but someone else can. Lil B,
Yeah,
that is an obvious one.
I can see why.
Walking into wonton soup anywhere.
I was thinking the A-Team theme song.
Not bad, actually.
That's
a good one.
It's a strong entrance song.
There's a guy at work that has that as his ringtone.
I would punch that guy,
Ba-dum-bum.
but if it played without coming out of my phone, I wouldn't, be or subject to punches.
My favorite was when he had the Afro Circus from Madagascar 3 as his ringtone. That was pretty great. Mine, I guess, would have to be "Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangsta" by Ghetto Boys.
That would be a good one.
That would be a
That's
good
the Office
Yeah,
Space
from
song
Office
for people
Space.
who don't know. APL laced curtains. It's a pretty good one. Paul, you can go look that
That's a
up
good one.
if you want. Based
Lace.
APL.
Wonder Balls is always a strong one. Yeah, that's not a good one.
John's one hit wonder. John had
Still
other
need that-
parody songs, but
You still need that
one-
studio recording, John.
I know.
Yeah.
Andre Agassi is
Things,
better.
things I'm
So-
interested in doing. Going to Sacramento.
That's true.
Scott gave me a hug. We might get a new version of that.
See.
President dude, Based APL needs to just put a record on iTunes.
He does.
I don't know why he hasn't.
That'd be hilarious.
I don't know. Are the samples Scott uses copyrighted? I don't know.
I don't know.
They don't sound copyrighted. I'm just saying. No offense. No offense.
No
They
offense.
Scott.
Are
Don't
you
sound like
saying
some-
that he's not a good beatsmith?
Are you saying that Scott makes his own beats?
Not saying that R. Chata made his beats or anything like that. I don't know what's going on up there in that house.
Oh wow! Shots fired.
Shots fired at Rishi.
Drama alert.
Ches taking on Machinima one dude at a time
I'm
here.
gonna venture to say they went to royalty-free beats, probably with a Z at the end.com or something.
It's like a
Shots
blacklight
have been
attack.
fired. This is
I'm
my
so-
last podcast before Scott comes back. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
I'm so fresh you can suck my nuts. That's a solid song as well. Especially to play when entering a room. People would know who was boss.
That was
When
that. Yeah. That's a really good. One.
I'm looking for actual questions for Paul here.
I know, right?
Come on, guys.
Now people are Tabes
Any of
rocking
those
the
work.
house.
Oh yeah, that's what I would choose.
Guile's theme song. Not bad. Alright, what else do we have here?
AMD or NVIDIA?
Ooh,
That's a good
a
one.
controversial question.
Lately, if you're looking at the highest of the high end and not $500 plus, 7970 gigahertz edition has been beating the 680 in a lot of areas.
Those new
680 still
drivers.
wins somewhere. Yeah, the drivers, they've taken them a very long way. So yeah, if you're buying right now, that's probably what I'd recommend if you're buying a high end card. And I have not had time to go over the 660 range, the 7870 range more recently, but yeah, I for me actually a lot of times it comes down more to like the manufacturer of the card itself versus the GPU, because I'll kind of gear it more towards the type of build quality you're getting, or if you're getting an aftermarket cooler, or if you're getting like a cherry picked GPU or something like that. And then if you can eliminate coil whine, that's another thing. Like if I'll find the more cheaply made cards that have not as nice of components, and they'll sound like nails on a chalkboard when you plug them in. But then you'll find that the better quality cards will just, I mean, the only sound you'll hear is like a little bit of noise from the air moving from the fan.
So
Yeah.
let me ask then, who's your favorite NVIDIA manufacturer and your favorite AMD manufacturer?
Oh, that's a good question.
Ah, gosh.
We all have our picks. I like Sapphire a lot for AMD. That was what I always went with those.
EVGA and Power Color for me.
EVGA and XFX for me.
Okay. Yeah. The XFX, I really like their Double D series. Plus, it's just such a hilariously suggestive name.
They should just put
So,
boobs on the fans and get it over with.
Yeah, they could. I've been impressed by some of MSI's cards lately.
yeah.
Definitely, Asus is always solid. I mean, they have been. Usually their cards are a few bucks more, but I think Asus is something where you always kind of get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And yeah, Gigabyte, I like their cards a lot as long as you don't care what they look like. They perform really well. I feel like they need to design them to be more aesthetically pleasing, but their coolers are really nice, actually.
That's why I like EVGA. I like the way they design their cards.
Yeah, AVGA, I find like they have a lot fewer custom designed coolers than,
Yeah, they're pretty
than a
much
lot of the other
referenced.
companies. Yeah, a lot of their coolers are referenced. They'll do a little bit more with the card itself, or you'll get like the For the Win versions or whatever that have cherry picked GPUs,
Right.
and those are nice. I mean, you can always push those cards further. But yeah, when AVGA has come out with like that, dang it, which one? The Signature 2, I think, was a dual fan card. I just like the performance of that style cooler better. And it's probably because I always test these on an open test bed and not in an actual system, so I'm not paying any attention to anything except for the GPU temperature. But, well,
Yeah.
I'll stand by it.
So, what do we got? Someone had. What do you think of? Someone had asked. And I'm sorry I didn't get your name in chat, but someone had asked. Have you seen anything of the PS4 stuff, and what do you think about the new consoles? Obviously we're PC here, but
Yeah,
it affects everything. So
I noticed it. The specs I've heard so far have been kind of underwhelming. I feel like for the actual hardware that they're using, I feel like they should be using some kind of next-gen hardware that's not even available yet. But I understand console developments they're usually a little bit more conservative with that. Because I mean, wherever the consoles are at, you're going to get kind of relative performance for any PC title that's not solely for PC. And you get those beautiful like PC-only titles, but those are just there's a lot fewer of them overall. So you'll see the whole industry pushing forward, I think, more if the consoles are more capable. And I think like graphics capabilities have stagnated for quite a while. I think because of that, because the consoles we're using all came out in 2005. Yeah. So I mean, it's exciting. They're going to get some at least newer hardware. They're going to have some newer special effects and APIs and stuff to work with. But as far as the consoles themselves, I'm probably going to be sticking with PC gaming primarily.
Yeah. Well, you'll be better off too, because x86 is something we've talked about on here before. Just the fact that it'll be x86 is going to make it nicer for everyone.
Yeah, that's definitely helpful.
So, all right.
I had seen a question back a ways that asked, what got you into PC gaming? And I'm going to expand on that and say, what was your favorite PC game growing up?
Let's see. PC gaming, I didn't start out with until, 1997 or 98. That's when we first actually had. I mean, that's when I would say actual PC gaming.
Right.
Favorite growing up would probably I'd have to go towards college for that, because that was like when I actually had glorious amounts of time to sit and game.
Right.
Favorites from then would have been Quake 2 and
Good one.
StarCraft.
Good choices.
I've always been the kind of gamer where like I don't play a lot of different games. I find one and I kind of fixate on it, and those are both games that I played a lot of.
Did you ever get addicted to WoW?
Yes.
You can just hear the shame in his voice. Yes.
Well, he
It's
couldn't
not
have
all
been as
shame.
bad
No,
as me, so it's
I
all
have
good.
some good friends. Actually, my wife started me playing WoW, so that's
There you
one
go.
thing I
Solid
can say.
pickup.
Yeah, she's awesome. And we have how many people? We had at least 3 friends who we met on WoW originally who came to our wedding, which was pretty cool.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, John
I
and
met
I.
Ben on WoW.
Yeah, we met on WoW, and
Nice.
Bob was hopelessly addicted to WoW at one point. as
Oh,
well.
it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. I played from alpha on, and I rage quit during whenever Burning Crusade came out, because I was one of those retards with a ridiculous amount of purples that were suddenly worthless. So I just quit.
Oh,
I gave my account
Bob
away.
doesn't understand gear resets.
Nope. I was so mad.
I understand.
Yeah,
It's
But-
okay.
yeah. I'm better off for it.
You can just take solace in knowing, though, Paul, that John and I at one point were playing a character of mine 24 hours a day
Oh,
in
nice.
PvP. So, whatever you were doing, it couldn't have been that bad today.
No, not quite to that level. I mean, But looking back on like the the good years back when you're like when you had a good group playing and like you'd get together at the same time and everyone would be having fun and on vent and everything, like some really really good memories. So it's not all shame.
My account's still active. I still jump on.
Yeah, you're playing that Pandaria. I'm thinking about it.
Oh yeah, well my account's still active, of course.
Yeah.
I just like to go in and like just play for a couple weeks at a time every once in a while. So I'll just reactivate for a month or two and see how the game has changed. Realize that it's the same game that I played 7 years ago, and that it's still good to this day for somehow.
Yep.
So.
So.
There's certain games that I play when I don't want to think at all, or at least as minimally as possible, and it's very relaxing, those types of games, and WoW is definitely one of those.
So we have a few more questions for you, and then we'll let you go. We're over your time there anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
But you got too many videos to edit, man.
I do. I didn't post one. I've been trying to post one on Saturday night, Sunday morning, and I got a few to post this week, though.
I've had lots of... Have you ever played League of Legends?
You know what? I think I've tried it for all of like 10 minutes. That was about all, and I saw the danger there, and I've managed to stay away. Yes. I literally, it's the type of game where I look at and I say, "Oh, if only I was in college still." Because yeah, I just
buy all the riot points.
Yeah.
So some the other Miles in chat asks, how many hours go into an episode of either Newegg or a review on your personal channel?
That varies a lot. My personal channel, it varies a lot. It's like, because I mean, the type of video it is, if it's like, here's a product, I'm going to unbox it really quick, I'm going to read you guys what it says on the box and maybe say a couple more things about it that I've researched and found out. Those can be pretty quick. Something like a build or something where I'm actually reviewing a product and taking some time to use it for a while and see what I think about it, those can take many more hours. So
yeah.
If you actually go into our Newegg videos, though, like some of those we've gotten down to the point where the video itself, like shooting it, can take an hour or less, and then the editing could be even less time than that. So sometimes we can actually turn them over in like a couple hours. That's if it's like a fairly simple, straightforward product.
So we have lots of praise for the how to build a PC video.
Well, thank you.
we linked
We linked
to everybody.
You have no idea how many hours it saved me and how many phone calls it saved me.
Oh,
Like, it's just a fantastic video.
thank you. Like literally, like I don't get recognized in public very often, but when it is, it's usually because of that. And I'm like, every time it happens, I'm filled with this sense of, can I call it joy? I don't know. It's wonderful. Like honestly, it's the reason I made it was to help out people and to help out people who like to help out people. Because I've been in that situation too, where you like trying to explain something to somebody, and yeah, every time I hear that, it means the world to me. So thank you guys for watching it and sharing it.
Yeah, we along with PC Part Picker, I don't know if you've seen that site, but
Yes.
Philip's an awesome dude. He's been on the podcast before, and he's done a little web work for us before as well. The guy who runs PC Part Picker. But between PC Part Picker and that video, we pretty much don't have to answer anything complicated anymore.
That's awesome.
So,
Beautiful.
we'll end on a last question here. What is your favorite product you've ever reviewed? That's a lot of products, but
Wow.
That is a lot of products.
Wow.
or maybe favorite or best. I don't know how you want to really phrase that, but
Dang, I feel like that's a question that I should have an answer for, like right off the bat. But I've never been asked that, and
blew
I
you away or something.
Yeah.
Most impressive for the time, perhaps.
And then you got all the different product categories, so I feel like it's hard to
Yeah.
compare like a really good case to like
That's
a
rough.
really good. Recently, the ones that stuck out is, the Titan. Of course, it's pretty marvelous. I know it's like ridiculously expensive, but it's it does what they said they would. I thought the Ares 2, again, going with the video card, but that was a really well-designed card, and I think it kind of lends itself towards seeing more of that type of design in the future, and the performance was amazing. Temperatures were like ridiculous. I'd never seen gigahertz edition GPUs, even overclocked, like running that cool. Is that?
Yeah, no.
Is that
No, that's
suffi-
good.
You've reviewed
like, I guarantee it's like the rest of the night tonight I'm gonna be sitting here thinking like, oh dang, I could have said that. Yeah. I'm gonna give that some thought, and maybe I'll do a video and try to say like my top 5 products or something
I'll
like that.
hone in on that question a little bit, because I'm actually looking for a new case, like
Okay.
probably ordering it this week. Like, what cases have impressed you recently?
What is your price range?
Like 100, 120, maybe as much as like 150, but probably wouldn't go that high.
Okay, the case that's to my left that I just built in is the Fractal Define R4. I don't know
Okay.
if you're into that style. I mean, there's a pretty wide range of styles. I feel like there's kind of the more subdued enclosed case where you don't have many lights or anything like that. It blends in with like a home theater or something. And then there's the look at my computer and all the parts inside. And I like both of them. So which of those do you veer towards?
I was actually looking at the R4 as one because I don't care about having like a window really.
Okay.
So,
Well, the one I just built in does have a window. So what I kind of like about it is like, it's a nice balance. I've gone more towards the more subdued look, but they have this one that does have a window, and since I'm doing videos at home now, I'm gonna have it in the
Right.
background and everything. So it's kind of a nice balance. I'm pretty sure it's in the low hundreds. I think it's 120 or 130.
Yeah.
But just really well built. It's got a simple little fan controller in it if you're into that. I like the aesthetic, and I like the build quality, and I like kind of the black and white thing.
Mhm.
And are you looking to do like water cooling or anything like that, or just
No, I wasn't gonna go.
That was a question in the chat. They wanted to know what your thoughts on were air versus water cooling right now.
Okay.
I think water cooling is always better, but it's a lot more expensive to do a custom, so it's a bit more unattainable for people. Honestly, I have personally done almost none as far as actual water cooling goes. I've done a bit here and there, and I've participated in builds where other people were doing it, but I've always just gone with air cooling just because it's like, well, I can buy a $50 air cooler and overclock to 4.5 gigahertz, or I could do a $300 or $400 water cooling loop and overclock to 4.8 gigahertz. And
How do you feel about the closed loops?
the closed loops, as long as you're not going with one of the simplest, most basic 120 millimeter thin rads, those I don't think the performance is worth it. If you are overclocking, go for a thick rad 120 or one of the longer ones like an H100 or
An
there's
H100
actually
sitting over there.
yeah
have it
those,
installed.
Sitting, yeah.
those do a really good job. It's just physics, the liquid cooling is always going to keep the CPU cooler. So especially if you want to overclock and if you want to long-term overclock, to where you want to get something where I'm okay running this on an everyday basis. I'm not just seeing how far I can push this.
Yeah.
I think it's a definite good option for people. I would just say make sure you have additional airflow, especially around your VRMs if you're overclocking, because that's something that people don't often remember, is that the closed loop ones will cool your CPU, but you might have radiators around there that are cooling your VRMs that are supposed to have airflow over them, and people sometimes forget that. So don't forget the airflow.
Very cool. Speaking on cooling still, to expand on that question a little bit, as far as air coolers, we always tend to recommend like the Hyper 212 Plus and the Cooler Master Evo. What are the air coolers that you have had good experiences with?
Those.
Yeah, they're just so good for like 20 or $30.
There's like 3 or 4 like very similar coolers to that in that price range, and I know all of them work just about the same. I think Cooler Master just kind of jumped on it pretty early with that design, and they've got a lot of momentum behind it. So that's the one everyone always points to. There's a few more right there that I know work just about the same. But yeah, I kind of like have my more inexpensive air cooler, and I always go with the Hybrid 212 or something. If you're going like $50 or so, my favorite for a little while has been the Thermaltake Frio, but I know there's some others out there that I haven't given really a proper chance yet. And then if people are pushing to up to like 80 or 100, I usually veer towards like an H100 or something in that range.
Yeah.
Which I know is in air cooling, but if you're gonna spend that much, I'm always like, well, you might as well water cool if you have the room.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think that will be it for the questions. Thank you so much, chat, for all the good questions there. They were better than the no questions that we wrote in the doc. So, we had you. Wow, that was like 50 minutes instead of 30. But hey,
Well,
we'll
Yeah,
take
thanks
it.
for your time.
Yeah,
that's
thank
okay.
you
No
so
problem, guys.
Well,
Thank you for joining us, Paul. It's been a pleasure having you on. We're all big fans, actually. So,
Thank you for what you do.
yes.
Thank you guys. I appreciate the invite and everything, and it's been great hanging out tonight.
All right, man. We'll hopefully talk to you another time.
All right, we'll keep
Thanks,
in touch.
Paul.
See you later.
We'll see you at PAX.
Oh yeah, see you guys at PAX.
Yeah, we'll definitely see you at PAX.
All right, look for our booth.
Yes.
Will do.
All right,
we'll be there.
All right.
cool. See you later.
Later, Paul.
Thanks.
Thanks. Well, that was cool.
Good
That
guy,
was cool.
Paul.
Yeah.
All right.